O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
for everything Heat.
They stand eye to eye with history, and they did not blink. The Heat are going to the NBA Finals.
Panthers.
The Florida Panthers are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals.
The Big O Radio Show goes deep on playoff coverage.
We don't care what the rest of the world is saying. We don't care who's criticizing who. You got to line up between these four lines, and let's figure this out.
The Big O Radio Show. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
You know, I tell you guys all the time about Cutter's Edge Pro, man, and what they did with our backyard and made it a pure oasis. That's our Sylvester tree right there on a beautiful day, providing a ton of sunshine. We've got one exactly like this out in the front yard, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's Bono hanging around on the artificial turf. What's up, Bono? What's the word, baby? There you go, wagging that little tail. Maiden, there she is. Ziggy. How you doing, Ziggy? There you go. So we got the doggies hanging out. So just want to give you a little, we got some of the trees starting off from this way with the artificial turf. You see, there's Ziggy again, of course. Got it all the way. And look, we got some flowers coming out. That tree now will start to also spring, and it's absolutely beautiful too. So got all that, they can do all kinds of things for you in your backyard to kind of make it an oasis, which is what we've done. And obviously,
your home for everything Heat.
They stand eye to eye with history, and they did not blink. The Heat are going to the NBA Finals.
Panthers.
The Florida Panthers are heading to the Stanley Cup Final.
The Big O Radio Show goes deep on playoff coverage.
We don't care what the rest of the world is saying. We don't care who's criticizing who. You got to line up between these four lines and let's figure this out.
The Big O Radio Show. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Right, things are not good. Obviously, the boys are about to lose here and go down 2-1 in Game 3. And you kind of figured that the game was over once the human cigar comes out in Udonis Haslem. So it's kind of either you won the game or you lost the game. Kind of time to light it up either way. So it is a final. Here we got it now, 109-94. And now Denver takes a 2-1 series. Before I continue, please give me the heads up that audio-wise we are fine, so I don't have to panic and call Sean to bail us out and fix it and all that good stuff. You don't shoot well, you're not going to win in this series. End of story. It's pretty simple. And today, Miami shot crappy. Kevin Love was one of the better ones, 2 of 5. Butler was 11 of 24. Adebayo was 7 of 21. I guess all that talk, right? That kind of disappeared already. Okay, sure. Gabe Vincent, 2 of 10. Strus was 1 of 7. Udonis Haslem, 0 of 1. Duncan Robinson was one guy that came off the bench, lit it up, 3 of 6 from three-point range. He helped out, and Caleb Martin was 4 of 9. He didn't shoot enough, actually, in 32 minutes of play, 2 of 5 from three-point range. And then Lowry shot 4 of 8, actually, in the game. Also had 5 assists and 2 steals. So there were a couple guys, but overall, you shot 37% from the field, and Denver shot 51. And, you know, let's have a sit down here because, you know, you can go ahead and listen to Homer shows and all that kind of stuff. And I'm a Homer, but I'm a realistic Homer. Okay. You needed stars in this game. The Miami Heat are playing with no stars. You do know that, right? Like, I get that the cocky Heat fan wants to like act and all that kind of stuff. And what have I told you about David Copperfield, Eric Spoelstra? What does he do? He makes things better than what they really are. This is not a great team, but they have played incredible team ball to get here. One of the best stories in the history of mankind, but the little team that could has to be perfect. And Jimmy Butler, those of you that keep arguing with me, I don't know why, is clearly not himself, okay? And so you need stars. They have 2 stars, right? Well, Jokic went 12 of 21 for 32 points. Their other star, Jamal Murray, 12 of 22 for 34 points. Okay? 21 shots, you get 32 points. That's efficient. 22 shots, you get 34 points. That's efficient. Okay? So their stars showed up. Jokic had 32 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 blocks, by the way, which he's not necessarily like Mr. Block Shots. Jamal Murray had 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He had a triple-double. Now, he had seven turnovers, too, at the same time. But their guys showed up. The Braun kid came off the bench and was a lightning rod, bro. 7 of 8 for 15 points. Amazing. But what happened to Miami's star? 11 of 24. He needed 24 shots to get 28 points. And then, some of you out there, you claim that Adebayo's a star, right? Well, stars show up every night. Well, what happened tonight? Well, where's the star? What's the excuse? I mean, he's not shooting threes. 7 of 21. Where's the star? I'm glad he had the 17 rebounds, but why do I tell you he's not a star? He can't impose his offensive will on teams. So if your star, Butler, is not a star in this series, he's a gutsy player. He's, a guy doing his best out there, but he's not a star because he can't play. Jimmy Buckets has not been out there for 5 straight games now. 5 straight games you have not seen like really Jimmy. But you can actually make a couple extra games if you want. You can extend it if you want. But I'm going to go the last 5 games. It's really shown that he can't. He's got no lift. He can't attack the hole. He can't do anything. And some of you out there are freaking blind that you can't see it. And you keep arguing with me on this. Like, no, he's just pacing himself. No, dude, he's injured. And so if your star can't be a star and the rest of the role players, none of them are stars, no matter what the hell you tell me about Bam, he's a fantastic player. I want him on my team, but he's not a star. Okay? Stars have to take over for other stars. And Jimmy can't do it. So now you need somebody to impose their offensive will. Not the guy that you have to feed the alley-oop and you got to play the give and go and all that kind. No, dude, that's who that guy is. But they don't have anybody else. Their stars showed up. Miami's only star is clearly playing with a flat tire. So he can't be himself. And this is not a good game. 11 of 24 for 28 points is not a good game for Jimmy. Okay? Jimmy only had 2 rebounds. Now he had only 4 assists and 2 turnovers. I mean, it's not getting better for him. The poor guy he carried you all the way here, and he's trying to play the team game, and he's trying to find the open guy constantly, and he's running the offense that's supposed set up for them because that's the only chance they have. But if the guys don't hit shots, and it's funny how people, pathetic effort. No, it's not a pathetic effort. The problem is you didn't shoot well, and then you got outplayed by a better team. You do not forget that the Heat are not the better team. They haven't been the better team except for the Knicks series. But outside of that, they're never the better team in any of these playoffs. They find ways to win because they're gutsy, they're tough, they're crafty, they've been clutch. Today they weren't. Today they weren't clutch. Today they couldn't make the plays, and their defense isn't going to completely shut them down. And then you embarrass them at home in game 2. They were going to come back with a vengeance. So you had to answer, but they have 2 superstars. Miami has a broken star right now, and no one else. Stop it already with that. He's a terrific player. They have no other star to combat those guys. So why they have to be the little team that could. They have to play a complete game. Everybody has to be stroking it. You can't go into a game where Vincent shoots 2 of 10, Strus shoots 1 of 7. Who else? Caleb at least did all right. Lowry did all right. And then obviously your 2 lead guys, Butler shot shitty, 11 of 24, and Bam Adebayo is pathetic, 7 of 21. There's no way you're going to win like that. And then you can't put him, Kevin Love, 2 of 5 for him is like excellent. What more can you put on Kevin Love? At this age, you can't put the weight of the world. You got 2 3-pointers out of him in 5 shots, 40%. That's outstanding for Kevin Love. So you can't really put a burden on that guy. But overall, they shot shitty. They shot shitty, and then they played against stars that showed up. And they don't have people better than Jamal Murray. They don't have people better than Jokic. So if those guys come to play, that's it. And a lot of times when your offense is off, that takes a toll on your defense, and those guys just outplayed their asses. Porter had a terrible game offensively. What was it? 1 of 7, but he affected several shots. That's where he helped out a little bit on defense, but he didn't play well. Now, Gordon went 5 of 10, had 11 points, had 10 rebounds, had 5 assists, and a steal. Caldwell Pope did not do much. He went 1 of 4, had 6 points, 3 rebounds. Jeff Green didn't do much, although he did serve dinner. So he did all right for this road trip, scored 4 points off the bench. Brown, Miami's own, went 1 of 5, really wasn't very effective, was mediocre. Braun was the guy off the bench, really, that was their spark plug, 15 points. He was unstoppable. And when he ran over Jimmy Butler, I knew already that shit was over. Holy crap. But we have to understand that the Denver Nuggets are a better team. And if they play at their best, there's no reason Miami should ever win, even when Miami plays well. So Miami has to play a perfect game and then at the same time do enough to disrupt them so they can pull it off. It has to be a perfect balance for the Miami Heat. They have to, they cannot actually have practically any holes in the dike. Okay? There can't be any leaks, man. And if there is, it's going to end up becoming a gusher for them because they're not good enough to overcome. And they don't have a Wade who's off, and then, hey, Bosh and LeBron will bail you out. Oh, today LeBron's off. Okay, Wade and Bosh will bail you out. They don't have that. They don't have Shaq and Wade playing with each other that, for 2 years where they could balance off each other and carry and all that kind of stuff. They don't have that. Those are stars. Those are stars. Timmy, Zoe, those are stars. Stars can carry each other and help each other along the way. If one's struggling, the other one, and if Jimmy Butler is not Jimmy Butler, I told you already, it was a miracle win the other night with Jimmy Butler not being Jimmy Butler. Do you know how amazing that is? Spoelstra, if he wins this series, okay, he will go down. No doubt it'll be the greatest coaching job ever in Heat history. Ever. It's not even close. Beats anything Riley did because he won a championship with less. And it becomes one of the greatest coaching jobs in NBA history. I'm not saying one of the greatest seasons because obviously there are way better teams, but coaching jobs. Nobody's done more with less than Eric Spoelstra. So if we constantly say that he's done more with less, then that means, what does that mean? We all know deep down inside, they're not that good. And yet here they are. So let's not kid ourselves when they're not that good and Denver takes advantage of it because their stars come to play. And it's over. You got to be honest with yourself, too, at the same time. As much as this sucks, you got to be honest with yourselves. You can't just sit there and say, oh, the refs, they didn't come to play. Well, maybe it's because they're not good enough to bring it every night against a team like Denver because they don't have the talent that Denver has because they don't have their stars. They have a shit ton of overachievers. That's what they have. And these are the moments that the overachievers kind of look like overachievers. And then, unfortunately, Jimmy, that poor man, has killed himself to get you here, and now he can't finish the job. It reminds me of Tim Hardaway with the Achilles injuries at the end of seasons, where it was at least 2 seasons, I want to say, where right at the end of the year he had some kind of, not Achilles, a plantar fasciitis. He had 2 of those kind of injuries that just ended his season, and it killed the Heat runs those years. I remember Riley saying I wish I had Hardaway so I can take him to the prom or something, some kind of analogy that he was using. Some I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along those lines. I remember, and this is what it is right now. You're in the NBA Finals, and your star can't be himself right now, and it sucks. Don't forget, folks, that you can, of course, make a donation to our show where we get 100% of the donation. You can send it here on Super Chat, but we only get 70 there because YouTube takes 30%. But on Cash App and Venmo at Cash Big O Show, you can send in your questions, comments, complaints, insults, whatever it is that you want to send in. You can do that also. So Steven Gonzalez says pathetic. I say you got outplayed, and then you didn't show up offensively. And like the other night when they did lose, when the first game, you didn't shoot well, you're done. I told you guys after that game, I had no panic. Why? Because you didn't shoot well. And today, same shit. Interesting. I don't know if you guys saw one of the interviews where this week, might have been yesterday or something. Jimmy goes, because they asked him, hey, about, taking over games. This said, he goes, I'm not a volume shooter. I'm always going to make the right play and find the guy, all that. Really, you're not a volume shooter? Well, dude, you shot 24 times today to score 28 points. That's a horrible ratio. Unfortunately, it's not his fault. He's injured. But it shows you that he's not himself. Would you like to see me find a whole bunch of other 28-point games? And I bet you he didn't take 24 shots. I bet I can go. Let me go on the Jimmy Butler game log and let's go back a few weeks back. All right, let's go back before the injury. Let's go back into time. Way back. And let's see. Here we go. So he scores 28 points against Detroit. Oh, wait a minute. It says it right here. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. He scores 24 points against Philadelphia, 9 of 12 shooting. 12 shots for 24. He scores 27 points against Detroit, 9 of 12 shooting. 12 points to get 27. He scores 35 against Dallas, 12 of 16. 16 to get 35. Are you guys learning what efficient basketball is? Okay? That's Jimmy Buckets. That's the Jimmy Buckets I know. I don't know about you guys that keep arguing with me that he's not healthy. Okay? I mean, I could keep going. Against the New York Knicks, scored 35 points on 19 shots. That's the Jimmy Buckets I know. I don't know about you guys. Let's see, against Milwaukee. He got 33 shots for 42 points. Against Milwaukee, in the night he scored 56 on 28 shots. He shot 4 more times than he did tonight to get 56 points. And you know why? Because he's able to drive to the line. Can he go 15 of 18 and 7 of 10 and things like that I'm seeing in Milwaukee? No, because he can't go to the hole because he's not healthy. But you keep arguing with me. You go ahead and keep arguing with me about if Jimmy Buckets is healthy. He's been injured for a couple of weeks now, and that's our real problem. That, you got to the finals and the star cannot perform. You could get by Boston because they're a bunch of chokers, but these guys are much better. Even though they haven't won one, they have 2 guys that are freaking monsters, and it's hard. And Miami has to play an absolutely perfect game because they are overmatched. But the guy I know is Jimmy Buckets. The guy I know is not out there right now. I don't know about you guys, but the guy I know is not out there right now. So that puts Miami at a huge disadvantage that you don't have the Bulldog out there. It freaking sucks, dude. because the Bulldog would be running people over to the hoop. He'd be drawing fouls. I mean, think about it. Look, I could go back and we can do it again. Think about go back and look at Jimmy Butler tonight. How many free throws did Jimmy Butler have? Remember, he didn't have any the other night. What did he have tonight? How many times did Jimmy Butler he went to the free throw line 6 times, dude. That's not Jimmy Butler, man. That's not Jimmy Butler. 6 times? Come on, man. Again, we go to the game log. So yeah, I know who Jimmy Buckets is. I'm not sure if you guys know. Some of you know who Jimmy Buckets is. But free throws, 5 of 6, 5 of 5, 0 of 0, 1 of 2, 12 of 14, 4 of 6, 10 of 12, 6 of 7, 3 of 3, 9 of 10. This is the Boston series, right? And then the Knicks series, 10 of 11, 9 of 11, 8 of 9, 10 of 11, 9 of 11. The Milwaukee series, 5 of 9, 15 of 18, 2 of 3, kind of an outlier, 7 of 10, 5 of 8. So he was way more active because he was healthy. He was attacking the rim. He was efficient. He was going to the line. So he was killing them all kinds of ways. He's not doing that now because he's not himself. You've watched him for a couple of years. You got to know the guy's a mother effer on the court, and he can't be himself right now. And it bothers the shit out of me because if Jimmy was himself, they win the game tonight. I really feel that. They can overcome that, but with a real Jimmy. Not with this Jimmy, unfortunately. With this Jimmy, the role players have to be exceptional. Role players, including Bam. You know, he was role playing for 2 nights. What happened tonight? What happened to the star? Where, oh, where are you, Bam, my star? Silly rabbits. Tricks are for kids. True Fin fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. Jimmy limping bad in the tunnel after. Of course, dude, please. Can't do anything about this. It's tough, man. Big O, can Riley trade Lowry who wants him? They'll be able to trade him. I'll tell you this. They'll be able to trade him, I believe, by the deadline next year. Somebody will take that expiring contract. What you trade is Duncan and Tyler, maybe in a first rounder or 2 for Lillard. Maybe you can do that. That would be the move. If you can do that, I think that makes a lot of sense. Let's see what else. Big O is right. You must make more shots, especially open shots, big time. Anyways, Nelson Alfonso, Nuggets in 5. These fools don't belong here. Skip baseless. Yeah, whatever, bro. You know, that I don't my bigger question is, I ask, what is wrong with you for following Skip Baseless, for tweeting his stuff, for watching his show, for caring anything he says? That's really my question to you all out there that do all this. Why? I've explained it already. Guys like this are just professional trolls. They're really a disgrace to our business of sports talk. Okay, but again, sports talk has gone in so many different directions nowadays. There really isn't real sports talk all over the place. There's either bait radio, which is what that clown does, or there's foolish radio where you're just kind of goofing off and barely ever talking sports and talking about stupid things, because again, the culture loves that kind of shit, right? And then they're also stupid enough to follow into all the bait shit that goes on. And on this show, we're the ones that kill all the bait stuff constantly. We shoot it down constantly. We try to straighten you out on all of that. I tell you about the business. I tell you how it goes. I tell you what they do. I've explained it over and over again. And that's what he wants, just a rise. And you clowns bite. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. So instead of you hoping that I'm going to skip baseless, I'm ripping you for repeating and following and listening to anything that guy says. That's what I think. I think you're the horse's ass because he's the genius that suckers your dumb ass to actually follow him. Sucker born every minute. Don't be that sucker. So, Big O, our Heat played as though they had a 2-0 lead and they had no hustle when every game matters, and having Gabe Vincent on Joker in the paint, on the switch at times. Yeah, that happens. Give them credit too, right? When they're able to outplay you. It goes both ways to extreme. See, you can't be blind. See, that's the problem with the cocky Heat fan. You think you're the only one with a good coach. You're the one that only outshines. You think you're the only one that has guys that are going to have big moments. No, your guys are going to flop too. Your guys are going to have bad nights. Your guys are not going to shoot well like they didn't in the first game and they didn't tonight. That's the common denominator. I told you, Jimmy's not Jimmy, and they didn't shoot well. Well, if Jimmy's not Jimmy, brother, you better shoot lights freaking out every single night. Because Jimmy's not here to bail you out. Jimmy can't bail you out at all. Jimmy can muster some energy at the end of a game for a couple of drives. Did you catch a moment where he went back to the bench and he leaned back and he put this black cloth in front? I'm sorry. He leaned back and he put a black cloth in front and watched the trainer to his right shoulder to when we're looking, it's to the left. And the guy, looks like his eyes shift like Jimmy's trying to tell him something. And to me, it's one of the trainers or whatever behind them, and he's telling them about whatever wrap on the ankle or whatever the hell's going on. But, I've been at this shit way too long, dude. Okay? 3 decades plus. And I know when something's wrong. And that's not our Jimmy Buckets. That's a dude that's cojones right now, toughing it out, doing the best that he can. God bless him. I admire the shit out of Jimmy Butler because some guys like Kyrie Irving would have punked out like a little bitch. And that guy probably needs an operation on that ankle. He's probably effing up that ankle even more right now as we speak. But unfortunately, since he can't be Jimmy Buckets, ladies and gentlemen, we need everybody else to step up big time. Role players have to play out of their minds. Like your favorite role player, Bam Adebayo, he played well in the first 2 games. We gave him a lot of love. Played well. Well, why couldn't he maintain it? Today they needed it badly. He ain't no star. So role players, including Bam, have to play over their heads like Bam did in the first 2 games. Played over his head because that's not who he is every night. But, guys, Caleb's got to get back to being Caleb. Gabe's got to play well. You can't screw around, bro. You can't screw around. You got to bail Jimmy out. So, Big O, we need more shock jocks, yeah? You got plenty of them. What you don't have is enough of this. You don't have enough of people just actually talking sports and giving you the real deal, and that's it. That's what you don't have. That's what you need more of. Well, maybe not. Maybe we're just a dime breed. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just about the debate shows and all that. They're not really debate, they're debate, like BAIT. That's what they are. Not debate like you would think they do in a courtroom. No. I'm still proud of this Heat team. I don't care what all of you idiots thought we were in 2013. No, that's amen to that. They're playing with house money, baby. I don't care how this season ends. I want it to end with a championship, of course. But this Heat team has been beautiful, bro. What a season. A season that I would have never imagined the way they played throughout the regular season. And for them to get to this point with that bunch, that's freaking impressive, and that's because you have David Copperfield coaching. That's all. And David Copperfield, I told you all the time, he fools you. Whether it's the bubble, whether it's the Scrubberinis at 31-10, whether it's one shot away last year, or whether it's now, they're not that good. He just makes everything a little better than what it is. It just overachieves under that guy. But don't kid yourselves. They're not as good. You know what I'm saying? No, he's not a bum, Nelson. That's not. Adebayo is a terrific, an exceptional role player. That's what he is, bro. He's worth what he is, but he's just not a offensive star. He's not a guy that can get it done whenever the hell he wants. It's not who he is, So, Big O, NBA should allow a week or two till NBA finals should begin. When both Eastern and Western Conference finals are done, that would allow both teams to heal from. Dude, then what's the excuse for the Panthers? They were off for 10 days. And buddy, that's hockey. Okay? This ain't and hockey, there ain't no what's that called? What's that shit called? Whatever, load management. That shit don't exist in hockey. You guys know that, right? That's that make-believe bullshit they come up with this weak-ass NBA. So the Panthers had 10 days off, and they're down 0-2. What's the excuse? Brother, buckle up. You got to get it done. No excuses whatsoever. They're not better than Denver. They can rest for 50 days. They're not going to get better than Denver. Okay? That's just not for them, they actually need to stay in some kind of a groove. I disagree with you. That's just an excuse. I'm not doing that. The guys have to play a perfect game. They are completely outmatched talent-wise. So they just have to play a perfect game. Let's see. Win or lose, I'm proud of this team. And Chef Spo made chicken blank into chicken salad. Exactly. Isaiah says they just missed shots tonight, and Murray played out of his mind. Joker as well. It is what it is. And our star is not our star right now. No doubt says no matter what happens, no sweep. Plus, we got best of 3 on those pesky Celtics. Now we have to win the next 2 in this series. Yeah, amen. Yeah, they do have to win the next 2. You are correct on that. I'm really proud of this Heat team as well. In reality, I'm a huge Heat fan. Florida Panthers, Dolphins, Inter Miami, Hurricanes, let's go. Everybody will become an Inter Miami fan now with Messi. It's a make or break. It's a make or miss league in basketball. You have to put the ball in the basket. He couldn't throw it in the ocean again. He'd had open shots. 35% won't cut it. Christopher Jones, sir. You are correct, my man. Lillard come to the rescue. Right. Like on a night tonight, Dame Lillard, who can score 50, right? Jimmy's hurting. That's a real star. That's a star. You know what I mean? Not this fantasy that you guys want to force down everybody's throat about. Bam is fantastic. I want him. I keep telling you, Bam, UD, and PJ Brown are the same kind of player. Even though they're completely different, and Bam is more skilled than both those guys in certain things, except shot. Accept the shot. Who do you want hitting a 16-footer at the end of a game, 18-footer? Who do you want? Who do you want taking that shot? You want UD or you want Bam? Thank you very much for playing. Appreciate that. Those of you that watch both players, you know what I'm talking about. UD was money with that shot. But was UD an offensive anchor? No. Could UD score 16, 18 points on a night and help you out in 20 and pick up 10 rebounds or 9 or whatever? Yeah, of course UD can do that. Can PJ Brown get 10, 12, 14 points but pick up 12 rebounds and 3 block shots? Yeah, he can do that. They're all that fourth guy. I love them all. They all play that role, that team guy, that ultimate team player, franchise team player, the guy you admire. PJ Brown, I will admire forever. UD, obviously, and Bam will be the same way. They're all the same kind of guy. That's the part that people don't understand. But it's a great example when this guy put in Dame Lillard, because that's a star. And that's what I'm used to. That's what I keep telling you guys. That's Timmy and Zoe. That's Shaq and Wade. That's LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, Bosh, and LeBron. Exactly. Those are stars. Those are people that carry your franchise offensively, that you can put the burden and the weight of the world on them, and they'll say, let's go. Let's go. Glenn Rice. I'll put him in front of Bam, because he had a thing that you need, that is unstoppable, that he was fearless with that trigger. So he was going to score on your ass. You know what I mean? That's to me, that's my definition of a star. Okay? Some of you out there, you have lowered your standards for that stuff. I haven't. I know who that guy is. I've been watching football for 50 years. He's those other guys. He's not built to be an offensive star, because he doesn't play that way, because he doesn't want to, by the way. It's really all that. It's just here for Bam. See, UD could not do that, and neither could PJ. That's the frustrating part. You and I know Bam could, but he never really can do it, and that's the problem. So that's why this issue happens. And this is why we have this discussion. But very few are willing to have this discussion. They just, go with the company line, because it's really easy to go with the company line. But the facts are always there. They always show themselves. He can't elevate unless others elevate him. He's not the guy that elevates others. That's what stars do. I don't know if you guys know that, some of you out there, but that's what stars do. They elevate others. They're not part of everybody else's elevation. Big O, do you think Spo should play Yurtseven over? You can't put Yurtseven is not ready for this, dude. No, you can't. You don't like how Spo made rotations tonight? I don't like that they didn't shoot, bro. Please, give me a break. What are you going to do? So then let's bench Bam and Butler, since they can't shoot and can't be effective? Is that what we're going to do? Come on, man. That's bullshit. Okay? That's Manuel Caballero. That's complete crap, bro. Complete crap about the rotations. They got their asses kicked. Period. And their best 2 players played like shit. You're not winning. I don't give a shit who's in the rotation if you can't shoot and Butler can't be Butler. And then on top of all of that, Bam plays 7 of 21. That has shit to do with rotation. That's a lazy-ass comment that has no substance whatsoever. It had nothing to do with rotation. That team had no gas. That team got outplayed, got their asses handed to them by a better team. The problem is you're part of the cocky Heat Nation, that you have no reality, so you just think, oh, your team is so good and all that. The reality is you're not. you're in the NBA Finals right now with no stars. Mr. Caballero, you are in the NBA Finals with no stars, dude. Because Jimmy Butler's not a star right now. And Bam never was. So what the hell does that have to do with rotation when you're not good enough? And then your role players can't shoot. So what's supposed to do now? Go sign Glenn Rice and Tim Hardaway and John Sunvold at halftime? The Lowry $30 million should be the cash for a second guy. You're wasting time hating on Bam, saying he's the fourth. Bam is a third, is fine. Yeah. On a weak team that doesn't have 3 stars, then yeah, you got to take Bam as a 3. Again, you and I have a different definition of star. Okay? All right? My stars impose their offensive will on teams. My stars make other people better around them. My stars, okay, they actually absorb double teams. Bam can stand out there at 18 feet away, and you know what they're doing to him? They're standing 8 feet away going, go ahead, dude, take your shot. Nobody's trying to take the ball away from him. And he can't shoot threes also at the same time. He, doesn't want to learn or whatever the hell, or it's a block in his mind or whatever. You and I have different. Again, he's no Chris Bosh. He's no Alonzo Mourning. He's no Tim Hardaway. He's no Wade. He's no Shaq. He's no Zoe. I'm sorry, dude. Those are my stars. Butler. Those are my stars. He doesn't belong anywhere in that group. Okay? Those people can impose their offensive will on you, whether you like it or not. That guy can't do that. He's never been able to do that. Okay? So, again, you have a lower standard for a star than I do. That's the way I look at it. That's my stars. So, Big O, I hope the Heat don't try and put all their hopes in Tyler Hero. Nah, Tyler Hero's not a difference maker in anything. He hasn't been one at all. He wasn't there for the playoff run last year. He's not there for the playoff run now. You've done fine. Like I told you guys before, I'd rather wait for him to get healthy, fully healthy in the offseason so I can trade him. You bring him on and he re-injures himself again. He's spending the entire offseason rehabbing. You can't trade him. Nah. And then it's like a real big injury-prone label, which he already is. I'll credit Alzigari for at least calling out Adebayo for what he is. Oh, he's a fantastic player. Love him. Just not a star. That's all. No big deal. Some of you out there, you take it so personal. Sky's the limit for the Heat if they can get another star. Dame Lillard would be nice. But his loyalty act makes me wonder if he really will. I think no. Have you watched him lately, Darryl? He's been sending all the signals he wants to get the hell out. So now's the time. Now's the time. As back in the day when you would go to Walt Disney World, now is the time. Now is the best time. Here is the time to trade for Lillard. Life is the prize. Win on the championship. I don't know. Anyway, so whatever it is. But yes, bring his ass over. Lillard is a diva, though, that he can turn those clowns like LeBron into real winners, so we'll see. No, Lillard is not a diva, bro. I disagree with you. I think Lillard is a bulldog. I disagree. I like Lillard, man. I think he's a badass. I think he's a guy that on a night like tonight, if you have Dame Lillard on this team instead of Lowry, you win this game, dude. Big time. Big time. He makes shots and clutch plays. What are you talking about? What are we going back to the bubble, bro, 4 years ago? Is that what we're doing? We're living off the bubble? I always love that. I always love when we're living off the bubble. What was he last year? Was he there to help out the Heat through the playoffs and almost to the finals? Oh, no, he wasn't. Has he been here for the best basketball that they played? Oh, no, he isn't. Brother, I get he's got talent, but he's unreliable. He breaks down all the time. I'd trade his ass personally. Okay? That to me, that act's kind of worn already. At this time, I'd rather go get Dane Lillard and get Jimmy the help he really needs. He needs a star. And they have screwed up for 4 years and they haven't been able to get a star. And yet Eric Spoelstra is a freaking magician. Love the guy. It's ridiculous. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. You figure I'm surprised, actually, I didn't get one from Hateful Steve today. Ripping the team and calling them chokers and all, since today was kind of ugly. Big O Spo at halftime should told Wade to suit up and make a phone call to Ray Allen. Yeah, they needed that. Dane is a Heat culture type player. I think he is. I think Dane would love this place because the discipline would be there, and I think he would have the right people around him and would make him feel comfortable. And with a guy like Jimmy, I think he would love to play. Look, in a perfect world, okay, this is all fantasy because it's so much easier said than done. But in a fantasy world, I'm trading Tyler and Duncan and a first rounder or two to Portland for Dane Lillard. Okay, so now I got Dane. So now I run with Dane, and then during the season, when I get to the trading deadline, now I only got a couple months left on the Kyle Lowry contract, which is a $30 million contract, which gets you another star. So now I try to hope that there's a disgruntled star out there that still has 2 or 3 years on their deal, and the team and them are having some issues, and Riley swoops in like he's done many times over, and he trades them the cap space that they need. And we get the disgruntled star, and we add the guy, and then you add another star on top of, Jimmy, on top of Dane. And so all of a sudden now you've got a team that can really carry itself with some terrific role players around it. And now you're off and running, dude. You know what I mean? And to me, that's where actually, to have a little fun with this again, to me, that's where Bam would thrive big time. That the guys are there carrying the offense, and then he can do all the other stuff that he does that he excels so well, setting a pick or assisting or defending different types of players, switching up, all those things that he does an excellent job at. It would just kind of free him up, and then he can really be himself, actually, because he doesn't have to hear us. Oh, you need to shoot 18 times and 20. You need to be more aggressive. Nobody will ask him to be aggressive because he doesn't have to be anymore. There are stars on the court really carrying the offense. To me, that's where it excels, and it'll make him look even better, actually. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the way I look at it, to be quite honest. I love his play, but in a role, okay? I just don't look at him as a lead guy. Hero is definitely a liability on defense, and I definitely don't see the Heat mentally on him with the way he carries himself. I just think, I've kind of seen his act now, and I think you have too many salaries you need to get rid of, because remember, there's the Oladipo salary too. Now that one's completely useless. You know what I mean? And that might be a filler that you might need for Lowry if you're going for a bigger player that has some cap space left in a year only or two or whatever. Maybe you do something like that. But the Oladipo salary, that's another deadbeat salary that they have on there. It's like $11 million, I believe, or something like that. Oh, yes, trade for Luka. I don't think we're going to get Luka, bro. I think that guy will hang on to Luka, and I can't see him trading him to Miami. I kind of think he'll be petty in that way that he will not trade him to Miami. You know what I'm saying? But how do you turn to your friend? How do you turn to your fan base and say, "Yeah, I traded Luka Doncic, our only player, our only star." That you lose your fan base there. They definitely would think you're not committed to winning. That's for sure. Yeah, why is it that place has never become really sexy for free agents when you have a guy that has the money that Cuban has? It's really weird, bro. It's odd, actually. There must be something wrong with him or this organization or something that doesn't rub people the right way, because you would figure a guy that's pretty young and hip, like Cuban, and I kind of like him, actually. And you would think he would be a little bit more attractive as an owner to players, and I mean, it just doesn't happen. So it's a really odd thing. Big O, do you go after a Brook Lopez to add size and range? God, he's old. That's the thing, dude. I mean, really old. I don't know about that. God. Where's Brook Lopez at this point in age? Brook Lopez. Let me see. I think he's really old. Yeah, he's 35. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, he was born on April Fool's Day. Yeah, no, you'd be a fool to sign him. Okay. That's not, you need a star, not that guy. You need a star. DeAndre Ayton is not a star. Not a guy he doesn't have enough of an offensive game either. I like him as a fourth guy again. That's kind of the way I look at him. I don't look at him as a star. He's a space eater. He's not really a free flower with the ball. He belonged in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, he still survives in this game, but he's not the ideal player for this game, to be quite honest. And that's why Phoenix has moved on or wants to move on from him. DeAndre Ayton would not be the guy that I would want. Dame Lillard would be more. I don't even want Bradley Beal anymore. Watching Bradley Beal, I don't think he's a dog. I'm not convinced anymore, because he doesn't lift up Washington enough. And to me, stars have got to lift up a team sometimes and, surprise and do some things. And I don't see enough from Bradley Beal. I think he's a good player on a really shitty franchise. And I don't think that that's as difficult, actually. Sometimes I think it's fraudulent for some players. I'm not saying he's completely a fraud or anything, but I've seen other players that are very fraudulent because they're on a bad team and somebody's got to take shots. And so you get all the stats, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a hell of a player. It just means that you're kind of a stat hog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even a Bradley Beal guy anymore. And I think in the past I've been kind of questionable about Dane because you're in the back end of his career. But if you are going to be able to get him for only a year or two, which is the window that he has left, I would try it with Jimmy, because I don't think there's much left with Jimmy. You know what I mean? I look at his body. He can't last. He can't play a full season. That's why you were an 8 seed, because he can't play a full season. He can't play 75, 77 games. He's going to miss a quarter of the season, and so you're going to lose some of those games, and that's going to knock you down in the standings because you don't have another star to carry you. So you need something else, and you need something like Dame Lillard, because he's a badass. That's, at least for me, that's the way I look at Lillard, that he's a badass. Yeah, Ayton's another Bam, exactly. He's a guy that feeds off of the offense. He's not really the offense. Right, exactly. You are correct. Same kind of player. You know, guy's good enough to make an all-star every once in a while and all those kind of things, but he's not really just because you're an all-star doesn't mean you're a star. Okay, let's get that straight. I know it says all-star, but that doesn't mean you're a star. Okay, that's different. I'm talking about when I say star, I'm talking about a franchise player, somebody that can carry you, and that's not who he is. And DeAndre Ayton is the same thing. You know, some thought he was going to turn into that, but that's not who he is, especially not in this league. Can't shoot like that. You need to shoot. Unfortunately, it's the way it is. All right, folks, we are out of here. We will see you tomorrow afternoon. Remember, we are on tomorrow. Well, we always are on Thursdays, 3 to 6 over at Hialeah Park. And I'll be at Dolphins camp in the morning. So if anything breaks or anything like that, follow us on Twitter at Big O Show, on Instagram at Big O Radio Show, Twitter or Instagram. And, of course, we will be back tomorrow live from Hialeah Park. Same time, same place, same bat channel.